What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. We are in the shop today looking at our 2012 Volvo XC60. This is a T6. This is the R Design trim. And in this video I just wanted to share really quick with you guys our homemade aftermarket air intake modification. Now before we get started, I do want to just let you guys know, if you decide to do this, proceed at your own risk. I am not responsible or liable for somebody cutting in the wrong place and messing up their vehicle. Anyway, making this video, like I said, just share with you guys our aftermarket intake kit, how we got this result, and why we went this route instead of just buying an off-the-shelf kit. I'll start with what we did. Now, the very first thing we did was take the top portion of the factory airbox off. There's 4 screws that hold this in place. We took those off. Now this used to be connected to this section of tubing or piping, whatever you want to call it. This section here, it would all come off as one single piece. Now we retained this section here because that's where your airflow sensor mounts onto. It is a very weird mount, not something I would want to recreate. So I saved that, and all I did was take a Sawzall, got as close to the airbox cover as I could, cut it there. I hope that focuses. I don't think it's focusing. Hard to tell. Anyway, cut it here. I then took some sandpaper, smoothed out the lip here where we cut on this section that we were going to reuse, just to smooth it out, make sure there's no burrs. Took a little bit of sandpaper. Anyway, got that smoothed out, put that back on. Next thing, we went to our local auto parts store. We purchased this 3-inch coupler, a 3-inch 45-degree bend, and a 3-inch cone filter. This is a 3-inch inlet on this filter. We actually had the filters sitting around our shop, so that's just something we threw on there. But you can go and get all of this stuff at your local auto parts store. You'd be about $70 out the door, around $40 for the filter, and the coupler and the 45-degree bend was around $20, $25. So with taxes, you're about $70, maybe a little bit more out the door. Anyway, this was our end result, guys. This is a setup I've been running for a couple of months now, and I did catch quite a bit of flack when I first shared this setup online. People bashing me for not having a heat shield, just all sorts of negativity. Anyway, I didn't let it faze me. I can tell you right now, I just drove the car to the shop, just feeling it. This isn't a very scientific way of measuring or testing, but just by feel, I can tell you this is pretty warm, really warm. Back here it gets cooler. Up until about here, there's a huge temperature change just by feeling the materials. This is really cool. This is really cool, and this out here is very cool. Again, not a very scientific way of going about it, but I can tell you that it works for me. Is it as efficient as having a heat shield? Absolutely not. I'm sure that would make a little bit of a difference. Like I said, have been running this for a couple months. I have not seen any negative side effects. I have not seen a drop in gas mileage or anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that I've seen an increase in power, because I haven't. I'd be lying to you. But anyway, that's our kit there. I'll go ahead and start it and give it a couple revs just so you guys can hear the difference. We can't do a side-by-side comparison because I hacked up my factory airbox and I didn't think about grabbing a sound clip of the factory engine noise before I did this. So I'll show you guys what this sounds like. And I just want to remind you guys, because I don't think I've mentioned it before, so I just want to share with you guys that I did this strictly for noise. I wasn't looking to get more power, more MPGs, nothing like that. It was strictly for sound modification, and so far I'm happy with it. The other thing I forgot to mention is I did originally keep the factory, this is the lower portion of the factory airbox. We had originally left that on there. It was kind of interfering with the filter though, so what we did is we went ahead and pulled this out. If you guys decide to do this, this pulls straight out. There's nothing holding it on. It's like a pressure connecting thing. Anyway, this pulls straight up, get it out of the way. What we did do though was reuse the factory there's an air feed tube, and you'll see it. You can't see it there because the camera's on a tripod. It's just a plastic funnel that funnels air to the factory air box. So I left that in place, and that's aimed right at our open cone filter here, just to help get some cooler air right into the filter itself and into the engine. Alright guys, I'll shut up now. I'll start this thing up and give it a couple revs. There you have it, guys. I regret not taking a video of the factory airbox, what that sounded like, but this sounds great to me. It's a lot more aggressive sounding, especially going down the road. You can really hear it. And that'll kind of wrap up our video. I think I covered everything. If you're wondering why we just made our own kit instead of buying one, it's because cost. Cost was the big factor, really the only factor. An aftermarket kit for this platform runs about $450 just for a basic, your starter kit. I just had a hard time justifying that. So $70 later, we got a similar result. Maybe not as efficient, but for me, it works just fine. Anybody can go out there and bash me for not having a heat shield. I mean, the filter's kind of tucked away. There's plenty of, this is the headlight assembly here. There's plenty of cool air hidden it, in my opinion. So anyway, that'll wrap up our video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe. We've got plenty other projects in the shop, and we will catch you on the next one.